Well, hi class, Mr. Nguyenhuu again. Today I am going to show you how to solve for a radical equation of one radical quantity. Here I have a radical equation, but today we only deal with solving for a square root equation. I have one radical quantity here. You see it? We have 2x minus 2 under the square root, and that's all we have. And this is the number 3, and this is the variable x, and this is another number 2. So if you want to solve for this kind of equation, please remember that you can't say that I will square this term, then I square this term equals I square this term plus this term squared. You can't do it. If you do it that way, you can't hold the equality of the equation. But if you want to solve for this kind of equation, since we only have one radical quantity here, it's better for you to isolate the radical quantity. So what I want you to do is I want you to have only this radical quantity to one side of the equation. And we're going to move all the numbers or variables to the other side of the equation. And this is what I do. On the left side of the equation, I have the radical quantity and the number 3. So what I want to do is I want to isolate only this. So I subtract 3 to both sides of the equation. So I have 2x minus 2 left equals x. I take away 3 here and take away 3 here, so I have negative 1. And then notice this is square root. If you want to lift the root, we'll raise both sides to the second power. But please remember, we raise the entire left side to the second power. So therefore, we have to raise the entire right side to the second power. So on the left, I only have 2x minus 2 equals. And on the right, I will FOIL x minus 1 to the second power. And once again, we'll follow the formula a minus b to the second power. So after FOIL, we have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. In this case, we have x to the second power would be x squared minus 2 times x times 1. So I have 2x. And I have 1 to the second power is 1. So this trinomial x squared minus 2x plus 1 is actually the FOIL, the result of the FOIL of x minus 1 to the second power. And then notice, no more radical, but we have a nonlinear equation. So how do we solve a nonlinear equation? We make sure that we rearrange terms. So I have the x squared come first. Then I will move the 2x to this side of the equation. So I minus 2x here. And I minus 2x to negative 2x here. So I have negative 4x. And then I add 2 here, add 2 here. So I have 3. So I have x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. And solve for this using zero factor property. X 3, 1, minus 3 times minus 1. And then we say x minus 3 equals 0 or x minus 1 equals 0. And solve for this equation. We have one solution, x equals 3. And solve for this, I have another solution, x equals 1. Now, since we're dealing with square root, we have to check for extraneous solutions. Okay? Maybe these two would be extraneous. In that case, we don't take them. We end up with no solution. Maybe one of them is good, one of them is extraneous, or maybe both of them is good. So both of them are good. So I am going to check for extraneous. How do you do that? I will show you how to do this real quick mentally. You go back to the very beginning of the equation. You replace x here for this solution. In this case for 3 here, 3 here. So under the square root, I have 2 times 3 is 6. 6 take away 2 is 4, so I have square root of 4. All right, plus 3 here. And on the right, I have 3 plus 2. Now, I have 3 plus 2, which is 5. Here, square root of 4 is 2 plus 3 is also 5. So therefore, it checked the equality of the equation. So this solution is good. Now go to 1. Do the same thing. I am going to replace x by 1. Okay, on the right side, I have 1 plus 2, which is 3. And on the left side, I have 2 times 1 is 2. 2 take away 2 is 0. Square root of 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. So 1 is also checked. So therefore, it is good also. So I solve for this equation. I end up with 2 solutions, and they're both good. So that is how to solve for a radical equation with one radical quantity.